Hey Cowboys Nation, let's go for another round of news from America's team. Watch until the end so you don't miss any news and sign up to stay tuned for everything that comes out about the Cowboys.
Cowboys starter bolts for Seahawks as team loses another key vet, report. The Dallas Cowboys are losing another key starter as defensive tackle Jonathan Hankins is signing with the Seattle Seahawks, per NFL Network's Mike Garofalo. Hankins has been a Cowboys starter since Dallas traded for the former Las Vegas Raiders veteran in October 2022. The Seahawks are expected to sign veteran DT Jonathan Hankins, source says, Garofalo noted in a March 19, 2024 message on X. Hankins was in for a visit with the team today. Hankins joins a growing list of starters Dallas has lost in free agency. Previous Cowboys players to leave Dallas this offseason include running back Tony Pollard and center Tyler Biadasz. The Cowboys also released receiver Michael Gallup and linebacker Leighton Vander Esch. Seahawks news. Seattle is overhauling the team's defense under Mike Macdonald for the Seahawks. Hankins gives the team a space eater at 320 pounds to potentially pair with Leonard Williams on the middle of the defensive line. Hankins started 14 games last season, posting 27 tackles, 3 quarterback hits and 3 sacks. Seattle is slowly revamping their defense under new head coach Mike Macdonald. Despite heading into free agency with more than $40 million in cap room, the Seahawks have mostly made budget-friendly deals such as the addition of Hankins. The defender played on a one-year, $1.1 million deal with Dallas in 2023. Cowboys news. Dallas has lost several key starters in NFL free agency. Some of the Cowboys' losses have been related to the team's tight salary cap constraints. The loss of Hankins could have been more of a team decision based on play. It's possible that the Cowboys thought Hankins was a declining player, Pro Football Focus's Marcus Mosher noted in a March 19 message on X. He has now posted 3 straight seasons with a PFF run defense grade 52 or worse. Proposed Cowboys trade would add up incoming Broncos RB to roster. The Dallas Cowboys 2024 roster is slowly starting to take shape, and it could change further with a trade for a Denver Broncos weapon. While the Cowboys have re-signed Rico, they are still lacking a true number 1 running back heading into the 2024 season. That's why Blogging the Boys writer Brian Martin thinks the team should consider Broncos RB Javonte Williams. Williams has been a bright spot on the Denver roster, but is entering a contract year as the team is setting up a rebuild. Last season he started 13 games and rushed for 774 yards, 3.6 YA, and 2 touchdowns, Martin wrote on March 18. With the Broncos going through somewhat of a rebuild, Williams could be available via trade considering he's entering a contract year. With Jaleel McLaughlin potentially waiting in the wings, the Cowboys should place a call to their buddy Sean Payton about Williams' availability. If Denver is committed to a clean slate, trading Williams would make sense. As mentioned above, impressive flashes from McLaughlin only further set up a potential exit for Williams. If that does happen, Dallas could do far worse than the former North Carolina Tar Heel. Javonte Williams' first 3 years with Broncos, as good as Williams has looked at times, his first 3 seasons have been a mixed bag. This is partially due to injury and partially due to splitting time with other RBs. The good news about that split is that, despite 3 years of experience, Williams is still only 23 and his workload has been reasonable. As a rookie in 2021, Williams exploded into his role with Denver. According to Pro Football Reference, Williams totaled 903 rushing yards and 4 touchdowns as the team's backup RB. He also had 316 receiving yards and 3 touchdowns. But in 2022, Williams suffered a torn ACL and LCL just 4 games into the year. His sophomore season was over, but it at least happened early enough that it didn't drastically affect his ability to play for the Broncos during 2023. Williams returned with a solid, albeit not great year. In 16 appearances, Williams totaled 774 rushing yards and 228 receiving yards. He scored 5 total touchdowns and crossed the 1,000 total yard mark for the second time. Williams would be cheap try for Cowboys. Another reason why Williams makes sense is that the Cowboys will not have to pay him much in 2024. The 23-year-old is still on his rookie contract, and will make $1.87 million in salary this year according to Spotrac. While Williams would be a free agent in 2025 without a second deal, that's a bridge Dallas or any interested team can cross later. If anything, it would be a test year for Williams and should encourage him to earn the biggest possible contract he can. Dallas hasn't shied away from paying RBs big money in recent years. Even now, Tennessee Titans RB Tony Pollard earned $10+ million playing on the franchise tag. But for 2024, Dallas can roll with Dowdle, a number 1 RB like Williams, and maybe a new face in the draft. Saving money there should allow them to make any short-term moves required to make a playoff run. Cowboys finally signed top remaining running back to 1-year contract. At the start of the week, the Cowboys' number 1 running back was 2023 6th-round draft pick Deuce Vaughn, the 5'6" sparkplug who had just 40 yards on 23 attempts last year. By the end of business on Monday, though, the Cowboys finally made a move to keep the team's top remaining running back in place, re-signing 26-year-old fifth-year veteran Rico Dowdle to a new contract. Dowdle, according to a report from the Dallas Morning News, signed a 1-year deal worth $1.255 million for the upcoming year. He had 89 attempts for 361 yards and 2 touchdowns last season. According to Spotrac, Dowdle's market value was estimated at $2 million per year, and the site had him in line for a 3-year, $6.2 million contract. Dowdle took considerably less, which has been the Cowboys' standard all throughout free agency. They have entered this offseason not to acquire talent that can push them over the hump in the postseason next winter, but to find the most rock-bottom deals they can find as they contemplate new contracts for Dak Prescott, Micah Parsons, and CeeDee Lamb. Cowboys refusing to spend in 2024. As beat writer Michael Gelkin reported on Twitter X on Monday, RB Rico Dowdle has agreed to re-sign with the Cowboys. 1-year contract is worth $1.255 million, including $200,000 signing bonus, a person close to situation said. While bringing back Dowdle is a welcome move among Cowboys fans, the context in which the move is happening is not so welcome. Entering free agency, it seemed that if the Cowboys were to find a way to upgrade the offense, running back would be the spot. Tony Pollard struggled last year and the team could have pursued some of the biggest name halfbacks on the market: Derrick Henry, Saquon Barkley, Josh Jacobs, Aaron Jones. Instead, owner Jerry Jones and his front office twiddled their thumbs as the top RBs came off the board. Pollard bolted for the Titans at the opening of free agency. The Cowboys responded with a shrug. It quickly became clear that the strategy at running back was not to re-sign Pollard or land a top name. The strategy always was to sit back and land a starter as a rookie in the NFL draft. There will be plenty of options available in rounds 2 to 4, but the Cowboys run the risk of whomever they draft simply not being up to snuff in the NFL. Rico Dowdle undrafted in 2020. But now, there's always Dowdle. Though he is number 1 on the depth chart now, he is expected to work as a backup once the season gets rolling. In 4 seasons to date, we have seen Dowdle for the Cowboys only in short stints. He was an undrafted free agent out of South Carolina in 2020, and stuck on the roster as a rookie, playing special teams and tallying 7 rushing attempts as the third stringer behind Ezekiel Elliott and Pollard. A hip injury torpedoed his 2021 season, though, and an ankle injury limited him to 5 games in 2022. But last season, with Elliott gone, Dowdle made some relief appearances for Pollard and rushed for a career-high 79 yards and a touchdown in the Week 10 win over the Giants. Perhaps that showing should give some hope that Dowdle could be the starter if needed. But it remains the only time in his career that Dowdle has topped 50 yards running.